Good evening. It's my pleasure to send this word of tribute as you honor Congressman Clair Burgener. Clair and I have been friends for many, many years, and I admire him a great deal. We first got to know each other in the 1970s when I served on the White House staff and he was in the Congress. Later in the House of Representatives, Clair and I worked closely together as fellow members of the House Republican leadership. I have many fine memories of those days and of my colleague from northern San Diego County. Congressman Burgener always went about his work with diligence and common sense and an absolute devotion to the public interest. Members of both parties looked to Clair for his superior judgment, a quality that reflected his years of experience as a businessman, as an active citizen, as a holder of city, state, and federal office, and as a veteran of 2 wars. Perhaps above all, Clair's good judgment reflected his fine character. You simply couldn't find a more honest, decent, dedicated member of Congress. Although Clair left the House some 2 decades ago, he still has many friends and admirers in the nation's capital, just as he does back home. Lynn and I are very pleased to send good wishes to Marvia and everyone gathered there tonight in his honor. Like all of you, we take special pride in knowing the gentleman from Rancho Santa Fe, California, Congressman Clair Burgener. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a video tribute to Clair from former President Gerald R. Ford.
It is a very high honor and a very great privilege for me to speak affirmatively about my longtime dear friend, Clair Burgener. Clair, we have known one another for over 30 years. I have watched with great pride your service in the local government in San Diego. I have watched with equal pride your superb record in the State Assembly in Sacramento. Most of all, I can speak up and praise you for a first-class job in the U.S. House of Representatives in the nation's capital. We served in the House together, so I know firsthand what a great job you did in the nation's capital.
Clair Burgener has given a lot of his life to public service. He's committed. He isn't asking for things. He wants to give back to the people. He's one of the founders of the Lincoln Club there in San Diego, 20 years ago. I salute him for that. And then he went on, of course, to many, many great achievements in Washington and as chairman of the party in California. He's a good man who believes in service to others. And I think that motive should motivate every American. It doesn't. But Clair is a living example of what's good about public service.
Clair and I first met in 1962. That's 41 years ago now. We were both nominees of our party from our respective assembly districts. We had been invited to attend an orientation type of gathering by the Republican Party. And we became fast friends at that time very quickly, and that friendship has lasted all of these years, I'm very happy to say.
I'm not certain of this, but I imagine that the first time I met Clair was when he was a guest on a television program that I had that required taking your guests up a 1,200-foot mountain in Tijuana to make their appearance. And he was a better sport than some in regard to this. And I can tell you that his readiness and wit were also a welcome addition to a program that had many dull people as guests. And dull is something that Clair Burgener was not.
I met Clair through politics. I was at Republican Associates, and then I became the executive director of the County Republican Committee during the Goldwater campaign, and saw a lot of Clair and his staff and became very friendly with him. And the more time I spent with Clair, the better I liked him. The guy was such great fun. In addition to being a very impressive human being, he was just more damn fun to be around. I mean, every time I was around him, I came away laughing.
I met Claire through his staffer, Marge O'Donnell, and this was in 1975. I had put the word out I'd like to get involved in politics, and Marge was kind enough to take me to a Barry Goldwater luncheon, and then immediately afterwards I met Claire. Claire was one of those people that he seemed to sense how you felt about something.
Well, in 1970, as a state senator, I decided to run in the Republican primary for Attorney General, and Claire was just tremendously supportive and helpful, and he introduced me to all of the people that I got to know in San Diego. But that was the beginning of a relationship that I established with a great many wonderful people in San Diego. Because of Claire, I just was able to develop a tremendous amount of support and made a lot of wonderful friends here in San Diego, and that continued on into the campaigns for governor.
Shortly after becoming chair, I determined that there was a need in the community to have a business organization that would be organized to do what was good for the economy in San Diego. I put together a thing called the Golden Eagle Club, and we got off the ground very slowly. It became very obvious I needed someone like a Claire Burgener to give it credibility and to bring his friends and associates of many, many years into the organization. Claire agreed, and he started contacting his friends and his associates. Because it was Claire Burgener and his name was on the organization, he agreed to become the very first founding chairperson. The club was successful quite rapidly, and for years thereafter, Claire would continue to assist the organization. Had it not been for Claire Burgener, the organization wouldn't be celebrating its 20th anniversary this year.
When Claire first ran for city council, there were no enforceable limits on fundraising. And it happened that several months before he made his decision, he was at a social event where a Texas oil tycoon came up to him and said, young man, I like the cut of your jib. I think you should run for office, and when you do, I'm giving you a $5,000 check, and you cash it when you're ready. Well, when Claire did come around to announcing for the council, the first thing he did was mail that check back to the man in Texas with a note thanking him, but saying, I think this is an improperly large contribution. Tells you a lot about Claire Burgener. If there were more like him, we probably wouldn't need campaign finance laws.